I don't know why. I think Gozi-Terran's taking the bait. You see these mutas flying out here, and you're thinking, I guess this guy's probably making more, hiding them somewhere, and so he made a little too many Valkyries. Hmm. Let's see here. But the overall forces are ground forces. Hydralisk Lurker combo. ZVT is one of my favorite matchups. This is just it's always an interesting game. And, if you ever get a chance, go look up Jaedong's games against Fantasy. I think there was finals in Pro League that recently happened. A hell of interesting games between Fantasy and Jaedong. And so I don't know what Zhaozi's doing, giving away free units. He needs to pay attention or he's going to lose all these mutas right now. Come on. There we go. Oh, that's just not good for, I don't know. I would say definitely Zhaozi came off on top of that. Mine is not looking too good right there. This is not a good thing right here. This is going to be bad. There we go. Just lost the lurker. Alright, so this is where Terran pushes out. Tries to do as much damage as possible. Possibly try to take out an expansion. Either the third expansion or the second expansion. So there's no third expansion. So it looks like Gozi's just going to try to do as much damage as possible. You can't really let Zerg get to the late game, or you're going to have to do some fancy stuff to survive the Defilers and Ultralisks. That's undoubtedly going to come. And so we see Zhaozi placing two lurkers there, well placed, defending this well. And so it looks like Zhaozi's going to come in from behind. This is where, Zhaozi comes in from behind and from the front. And so just to pincer this group of units here. And so this is going to be very ugly for Gozi-Terran. He's gonna lose a lot of units if he doesn't micro his units well right here. He needs to protect those Marines, back them up. That's it. Oh, this is not. I don't know. This could have been worse. Could have been worse. He's lost. I would say that was somewhat of a fair trade-off, but at the same time, Gozi-Terran is losing valuable time. You gotta put Zerg in its place as quickly as you can. You just can't let them tech up. That's just a very tough situation to get out of. And so we see Zhaozi putting up his third expansion right now, and this is where Zerg starts pulling ahead if Gozi-Terran doesn't put up his own command center and take this. What we often see is, I wish I could reveal map, but since this is a live game, I can't do that. There's an expansion over here if you follow my mouse cursor. Generally, it's a good idea for Terran to take that because it leaves this open area right here for Terran to micro their Marines around in the late game against Defilers and Ultralisks, Ling combo. And they don't have to go through these narrow gaps right here where Zerg can set up lurker, contain different things. And so we see Zhaozi trying to do some sort of flanking move. So he's going to guess that there's an expansion over here, and so there is not an expansion over there. So Zhaozi, just trying to make sure that Gozi-Terran isn't expanding. This is very bad right now. This is very bad for Gozi-Terran. This is the second large group of forces he's losing. He's losing a lot of time now, and so Zhaozi's definitely ahead now in terms of resources, bases, and forces and tech. Perhaps Gozi-Terran should have pushed out earlier, did more harassment. He did a very standard play, and so with the Vulture Wraith in the beginning, and so I guess perhaps utilizing some sort of different strategy might have been better. I have no idea, but what he could have done differently, because I'm not a Terran player, but I think he played possibly a little too standard, and so Zhaozi just countered perfectly in the beginning with the sunken, blocking off the ramp, different things like that. And so we're going to see some harassments. This is normally going to be sent to the newest Zerg expansion, because it's not going to have a lot of defenses. You're going to guess that the Zerg doesn't have a lot of Sunkins, and you hope to take it out and even things. But we look over here, XiaOzi's taking the 3 o'clock base and the 9 o'clock base, and so this is very bad for ASL-Terran. This is like pretty much map control. If you can take that, it's very bad actually. And so we have XiaOzi over here keeping Terran from taking this expansion, killing off any possible SCVs if you follow my mouse cursor down here. But this is one good thing. It looks like ASL-Terran's going to take out this expansion, but oh no, XiaOzi has 2 more at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. He's going to lose this dropship if he's not careful. Alright, very good. He manages to save it. Okay, and so he can try to do some damage here, take out some buildings. XiaOzi's going to run these workers away, right? And so ASL-Terran needs to take out critical buildings. He can't hear me, but of course it would probably be a very good idea to take out the Defiler Mound right there. Probably that Ultralisk Den right there as well. These 2 buildings are not his friends. Okay, well, that's not bad too. Keep the upgrade under control. Alright. The thing about these macro games is so much shit is going on. These players, they can't just control everything at the... Okay, very good. He managed to take out the Defiler Mound. Very good. Okay, that'll buy him some time, but, knowing XiaOzi probably just created a whole bunch of Defilers before he lost that mount. Or create another Defiler Mount somewhere. While that first mountain was being destroyed. And so we see ASL-Terran not taking an expansion. He needs to play into the late game. He's not playing into the late game. He's just doing contain right now. It's going to be very difficult because XiaOzi is just taking maybe he's actually doing a very good job. I'm very impressed. It looked bad for ASL-Terran earlier, but now it doesn't look as bad. We don't have saturation here. We have good saturation of the worker field there and there. And at the same time, it looks like ASL-Terran's running out of resources right here. And this second expansion is about to go down, and this third one, very, very solid play. My goodness. I think he turned this around. It didn't look so good earlier, but now it's looking pretty good for ASL-Terran here. I asked him before the game started, what's his name? Is it Gozi or is it Terran? He was telling me it was Terran, and I was saying to him that couldn't you have come up with a more original name? Because wouldn't it be hard to make a name for yourself if you're generically named Terran? Because even Boxer isn't named Terran. Boxer is named Boxer. Fantasy is named Fantasy. That's how we know them. It's kind of like if you name yourself after a race, you better be damn good at that race. All right. Oh, look at this. It's gonna be major. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. I'm seeing a lot of shit here. Looks like this bottleneck is not good for Zerg right now, or maybe it is. I didn't see these units coming up from behind. Oh, this is... See, I've always wondered about that. Irradiated Ultralisks. The irradiated Ultralisk, does it do more damage, with the Marines that it's rubbing up against? Or is it worth it to irradiate an Ultralisk? I guess it is, if the rate of damage that an Ultralisk takes with irradiation must be greater than the amount of damage it's dealing out to the Marines, with its attack, coupled with, the aura of irradiation around it. So it's kind of like, I guess I got to do some research on what is better, because I've thought about this lots of times. I've seen a lot of pro gamers, a lot of Terrans irradiate Ultralisks like mad. I always wondered, is it a good idea to necessarily do that? Okay, so it looks like they're down to, both of the players are down to the same amount of bases, but very nice Scourge by XiaOzi. Excellent, excellent. I gotta say, it's much more exciting to commentate a game that's going on live as opposed to watching a replay, because when you watch a replay, you know when it ends, and it's really shitty when you know when it ends, because I become really adept at guessing who wins just by looking at the length of the replay, because I'm like, oh,